All right, so again, so this is the manual way of setting it up instead of using the Magic Bullet track camera, which automatically gives us a 3D space depending on the video we have selected. All right, so the first step, we want to open up our tracker panel. Tracker panel off to the right here. We'll highlight our layer, and then we'll come down here to track motion. All right, now bring up another canvas panel right in here, and this is where we manipulate our trap points. So what we want is something that stays in the video for the length of the video, which is about 10 seconds. So we'll scrub through. And so pretty much this area around the canvas stays within the shot the whole time. So we can track it the whole 10 seconds here. So, and then what we want to look for when doing track points is something with high contrast, right? So a black and a white, right? Usually in the professional field, we have some sort of panel with bullseyes or targets, that sort of thing, if things become a little complex. But since this is very simple, we can just go for the corners on the edge of the canvases here. So what I want to do is I'm going to grab the center part of this first track point, bring it off to the side, and be careful to grab the inner square, right, to move it. Then you get a magnified version of where the track point's going to end up. I'm just going to try to place it on that corner the best I can. Right, and then I can zoom in, right, and so the track point is in the middle here. So this is the point it's going to try to track the best it can, right? And then using the smaller inner circle is going to calculate the pixels in that area to get an idea of where this track point should be. All right, and then the outer one also does the same. It's just a little more general, right? So if you have a simpler scene, you can make these two boundary boxes larger, as long as there's not too much change in each box. On more complex ones, you would make it a little more smaller, just so it doesn't change too much. So this one is a simple dolly in, so we can leave it pretty wide here. It should work for us. All right, so right about there, I'm on the last frame. I'm gonna go ahead and change this to the first one. There's a way to track backwards, but right now let's just try tracking forward.
On the last frame? Make the box on the last frame?
Well, as for demonstrations, we should start with the first frame. Yeah, and again, you can track forward and backwards, but let's start forward for now. So grab my tracker, realign it. All right, we'll just tighten it up a little bit so there's not so much clutter. Okay, right about there. All right, so everybody has their first tracking point in there? Yep, awesome. All right, so then we'll come back to the tracking panel here. I'm gonna hit our edit target. Edit target. Down there underneath where it says motion target. I'm gonna keep everything default. Hit OK. All right, and once we got everything, we'll go ahead and hit the Analyze Play Forward button. Let's see how it does. All right, so fairly quickly, really good. Yeah, really good. All right, is anybody's track point sort of jump to left, right? Everybody's track point is working.
Oh, it just.
It's there. Doesn't look like my squiggly line. Let's scrub it through real quick. Yeah. Looks like it's working. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Isn't this a little tight?
Can I make it bigger now or too late?
No, it's worked. It worked for you, so
Okay.
you're good. But you know, in other videos. Oh. Reanalyzing it, okay. All right, let's scrub through. Let's see what happens. Good stuff. All right, so now we got our tracking information in there. In that one corner, we can use it the same way we use the track camera 3D information, except sort of 2D though, fortunately. So we just have this one tracking point. So let's see. Do now is, it's not that one. Where is it at? Just a second. So our next step is making a null. Figure out exactly why it won't let me apply a null here. Okay. We need the extra layer. There we go. Okay. All right. So a null. So it might be new for some of you. A null is just empty layer. Its responsibility is to take on transformation values from tracking points, other footage, that sort of thing. What you do with a null is once you parent it to one bit of information on the other, you can get other elements in your composition to follow the null. So it's just kind of like a link between two elements, right? There's nothing in there. It's purely technical layer, right? So to make a null, right-click in empty space, new null object. I'm just going to rename it for just organization's sake. So I got my null up. Come back here to edit target. I'll apply the motion of my tracker 1 to the null layer. Hit OK. Let's see. And then what you should end up with is a ton of keyframes on your null. If it applied it correctly.
Are you going to transform? Are we doing anything in that, or that's just nothing?
That's just checking.
Okay.
See if I got it in there correctly. Okay, let me try to reanalyze it. Maybe I got the steps out of line here. So starting with frame 1, edit target, null 1, analyze forward. Oh, okay. Then we got an apply button. It's thinking. Oh, okay. Apologize, guys. This double screen thing's messing me up. All right, so motion tracker apply options, X and Y for position. All right. Got a red box. Awesome. Here it is. So no layer, position, ton of keyframes. So now this null, which is just the empty layer, is following our tracking information.
Okay, so you lost me. Or I got lost.
Okay, yeah.
So,
All right, so we'll back it up a bit. Let's see. So Control Z, 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 Z. All right, so we all have our tracking information right here. All right, so to apply it to the null, we need to have it up first. Okay, the main source tracking, make sure that's on.
see, now mine over here has faded.
It's faded.
The word is in the tracker box area. Mine is just like completely faded. Like, I can't-
Okay, you have the layer. Oh, okay, the layer, and then the
See, like when I go back to the video, it breaks up. So just stay on the video and not the new one, right?
it comes up when you hit the video.
Like when I'm on,
Yeah.
on the other.
Okay, it seems for me it fades whenever you go back to composition.
Right. So stay over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, so we got right. So main source tracking, tracker 1, transformation type. Excuse me. Position, edit target. This lets us know which layer to apply it to. I got my null 1 right here. Hit OK. If we already hit analyze, we got our apply button. If apply is grayed out, we still need to analyze. So hit analyze forward or backwards, depending on which part of the clip you're on. All right, and once you have that information, you can hit apply. You get motion tracker apply options menu here. This is just to let it know that we're doing both axes for position. So X and Y. Hit OK. And when you see that, we should have a ton of keyframes in our position here. And then what we can do with null, kind of the same thing we did with the chart camera, the 3D. We can create our text. Let's see. Say, can't see it. There.
Are we doing like the parent link?
Exactly, exactly. You want to parent your text to the null. Just trying to get my text to show up here. Yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing mine as well. Not sure if it's too small or too big. There it is. Okay. Way too big. Okay, just change the color. Gonna see a little better as it transforms and whatnot. All right, and like Cameron said, then we want to parent the canvas to the null. So that's the pigtail operation over, right over here. If you don't see it, you right-click on this upper layer where it says layer name or source name. Go to your columns. Then you want to make sure your parent link is checked on. You can pigtail it to our null 1. And it should follow.
Okay, can you do that one more time? I was trying to get my word in.
Gotcha.
It's
Okay.
connected to something, you said?
Yeah, so parent pigtail. So
Okay.
got our new text.
Right, got that.
All right, our text is in there. And make sure our parent link column is up right here with the spirals. And again, if it doesn't show up, right click on the layer name on this upper bar here, columns, make sure parent and link is checked on. All right, and then since we want the canvas to follow the null, we're just gonna pigtail canvas to the null. And then scrub back and forth and make sure it's following the information. All right, and then once I know it's following, then I can move it around. You see that it's following that point there. Okay, so again, so this is just positional, right? So it's just following a point in space as it goes up and down X and Y. Now to make it a little more complex, we'll go back, go and delete these two, start over. Let's see.
Can I ask you why you're deleting?
Yeah, so we're going to do something a little more. We're going to add some rotation into here.
Okay, so just basically, so delete the null and the text?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so come back to my tracking canvas panel here where it shows the tracker and information. Come back down to our tracker down here. All right, I'm going to hit transform for track type so that my rotation box comes on right here. As soon as I hit that, we have a second tracking point here. And so instead of just following position, we can get it to follow the rotation of elements in the video here. And as you can imagine, we're just going to slide this off to the other corner right here. All right, get appropriate tracking information boundary right here. Alright, looks pretty good. Make sure I'm on frame 1. Make any readjustments if need be. Alright, and then just to test it out, make sure I'm on frame 1. Hit analyze.
You said my box movement, I have a blue line moving. Like to move the second box over. I guess I was hitting, I wasn't hitting on that X in the middle, I
Oh, yeah,
guess. Like that, right?
right. You're on frame 1, right? Yeah, it looks like it.
You're
Yeah.
saying frame 1.
Frame 1, so with the time slider down here.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right, so after you hit your analyze, you get your 2 track points here, and it looks like it's following pretty well. Just looking closer. Yep, pretty simple. It works really easily since it has such high contrast. The black of the couch, white of the canvas. All right, and we just repeat the steps from earlier. We're going to get our null. Call it null number 2. All right, edit target. Make sure it's highlighted here. All right, my apply button came up. Hit that. Okay for X and Y. And then it automatically takes me to the transformation for my new null layer. Instead of just position, we also should have rotation values in here. All right, so now we got rotation in there, and we can do what you did before. So text, special word. All right, pigtail to new null layer. And I can get it in position here. Nope, no, rotate that. Alright, so you can see it follows the canvas a little more. So of course our last one is scale, right? Hopefully this should get us on par with the whole track camera 3D. Alright, so again, go ahead and delete this and run it back. Change it back to transform. Alright, go ahead and turn on scale. Now, technically, it only needs 2 track points, right? So 1 for just position, 2 to analyze the rotation between the two, and then analyzing the distance in between the two should be able to analyze scale. So no new track points. All right, so since we got everything already in place, I'm just going to go ahead and make the null. Edit target, make sure that's selected, hit apply, X and Y. All right, now we have values in 3 attributes here: position, scale, and rotation. Scale through, see if it's working. Looks like it is, according to the red box here. And just to make sure, apply our text. Right about there. Pigtail. Boom. Okay.
The pigtail goes to what again? The null, right? So the pigtail from the canvas goes to the null.
Yeah. So click and drag spiral to the null. Yeah. All right, now that we have all 3 attributes, we have something pretty similar to 3D tracking. Now, what we can't do manually is the whole parallax and 3D space rotations. But usually, this is pretty good for commercials, promotional items, that sort of thing. Right? That way, you can add in 2D labels on things in the scene. That sort of thing. All right. Any questions before we head to our second mode of tracking here, or third?
Yeah, if it jumps off,
It jumps off, so that'll be like a reanalyze.
you need to redo it.
Yeah. We're gonna have to start over. So if it looks like it's jumping here and there, you can go back to your track points. Right, begin at either frame 1 or the last frame. All right, and once you're back in your tracker information, you can readjust. Oops, not the keyframe. You can readjust your boxes. Usually it needs to be a little bigger if it's jumping. Not the keyframe. All right, and then you can hit Analyze to reanalyze it.
Yeah, okay, it just needs to be bigger.
Yeah, Nice, nice. And then once you get through that, then edit target, make sure you right layer and apply. That's without having to delete and just start all the way, excuse me, all the way over. All right. Everybody has good results. 3-dimensional tracking. Yep.
You want
Alright.
the second one?
Sure, sure.
Just to see if it's okay.
Wonky.
I know, I was.
It's not scaled.
Okay, so
box?
on the name, right?
No, for the
Yeah.
tracking information.
Okay. I understand.
Let's move to other canvas panel.
I'm here, right?
Yeah, this is the panel.
I don't know why it keeps changing from
Okay.
over here to over there. That's weird.
Yeah, so you got your X, so it's hard to see, but inside those two boxes is a little X, and that's the actual tracking point. Now your X is way over there. So this, if we can drag that X back
Right here?
to inside the we won't place it there, but it's way over here off screen.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just pass it. Like that?
Right. Let's get it on that corner.
Okay. You want up to the top one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, right off there. Then reanalyze, reapply. Then you should have to repair.
Okay. Feel like you had this correct before. I feel like you had this correct before.
I actually did this scan a long time ago.
That's not new. So this is not new.
It took me a little bit to remember that.
The way I'm going, right?
Huh?
The way I'm going.
I mean, I remember the first time I did it, I had no idea what was going on.
You were lost like me, right?
Yeah, I was pretty long, I had no idea what we were doing.
Alright.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like stupid, but I don't get it.
Definitely not stupid.
Huh?
So definitely not stupid.
It's hard sometimes like that.
Turn off the motion pass.
Oh, what happened to that word? You took it off?
So,
I mean, I can put it back on.
Oh, you were doing that on the camera?
Yeah.
Oh.
We can do that. I'll stay right here.
boxes are already removed here. Just tighten up both of the boxes and then reanalyze it. Let's see that. Let's start from
Yeah, let me pretty much redo it. You go back to the layer, and then you go back to your tracking. Yeah, and you reanalyze it.
the other one. It's kind of squishy.
That didn't work out. So let's try to whiten it out. So it kind of seems like we're trying to do some lateral movement. Let's give you more information. I'll see the mini ones. Yeah, so the scale's working, position's working. The rotation seems to be a little bit off. Yeah, that's it. That's it for the most part. So I change the sizes, size move with the canvas, we rotate with the canvas, and of course the position. All right, cool. So next part, let's take a quick look at Mocha AE. It's called Worse now in this version.
All right, and then you can save that off if need be. Use it for notes later on.
You can't save this,
Mm-hmm.
and you can open up another.
And then we can bump up your project up a version. So I'm gonna do save as version 1, and then save as again. Save this whole thing as version 2. And then we'll delete these 2 layers.
Mr. Knox, why did you save as 2 times?
So save as, so I'm going to save everything as version 1, everything we've done with the 3-dimensional tracking. Right, and it's saved as version 2 so I don't accidentally save over version 1. All right. I come down here, I'm just going to delete the motion trackers. Oh, that doesn't work. All right, it's fine. We don't have that much on the video. Just re-import it. There we go. So clean video. All right, so once we got a clean video back in our composition here, come up here to animation, come down to track and Boris FX Mocha. Go and hit this button Mocha right here. And for me, it's pretty instant. It's not a lot of information it's bringing up. So I got the register thing. I'm going to hit register later. Anonymous usage statistics. Hit don't collect. Mess with my processing. All right, and this is a third-party program. Way more useful. There's a lot more you can do on here. What we want to do is called planar tracking.
Should we register?
No, no, that's just extra.
So We just exit out now?
Register later.
Okay. And then it says, don't collect or collect.
Right, don't collect. All right, I'm just gonna get this in the screen here. Oh, goodness, it isn't going down any further. Okay, let's see what we can do with this.
So this is a whole nother different program?
Yeah, so the third-party program.
Okay.
So this AE, so it's a plugin, right? Again, it's available separately. This costs a little bit of money, but it's really nice to know if you want to get into tracking, right? And visual effects type of thing. What we want to do here is that we want to do a whole planar tracking on this canvas right here. All right, and the way we start with that is we make sure we have our track motion options here selected. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all of them. So click on perspective, it's going to select everything else. All right, and this should give us something that's equivalent to the 3D tracking camera, track camera in After Effects. All right, so this would be the backup option if track camera is not working for you. For whatever reason, you get that bar where it says it can't analyze for whatever reason, et cetera, et cetera. Come here to Mocha AE and give it a try. All right, we're going to come up here, hit the yes. And make sure it's the S that we start with. Oh, okay, that's option here. Sorry. Our pen tool. I guess it's technically a pen tool. Create X-spline layer tool. I'm just going to call it the pen tool. All right, I'm going to click 4 points right around the canvas here. All right, I'm going to hit right click to go ahead and apply those 4 points. Make adjustments here so we can get hard right angle corners. I'm going to turn off my. I'll pull out the blue handles here. All right, then adjust the points so that they line up here. Oh, make sure I'm on frame 1. Makes it lined up nice.
Now, so after you do the 4 corners, how do you stop it from making
Stop it from doing what?
making extra points?
Right click.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're just fixing them?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm not sure about the navigational language here, so I'm just clicking my zoom and pan tool right up here in the toolbar as needed. Okay. All right, we got the 4 points up. Still working on 4 points.
In the blue handle.
Mhm.
It's just the blue handle, so we get those hard 90-degree angles. The blue handle.
This,
Yeah, but the square dot. The blue handle pull out.
wait. It's right there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. That's all.
Mm.
Awesome. All
That's
right.
it?
Should work. All right, and once you get the red line in place, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adjusting the perspective.
So the blue one?
Yeah.
I put it right next to this red one. Fast?
Yeah,
Fast, a lot, really fast.
I know, that was crazy. I thought we just got in.
Honestly, I have no idea what's going on with this. I've never used Mocha before. So.
For real?
Yeah, I've never used this, so I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, so if you haven't already, hit the S, and then let's get that box in place with the red line.
That'll help us with our skewing. So I'm just gonna grab these right angle corners, get them in place. Okay, awesome. Once we have that lined up, come down here. It's kind of hard to see. I guess that'll work. All right, and then make sure I get this right. It's changed up a little bit on me. So I think this is just to move the frame. All right, I'm going to hit the track forward button here.
Oh. What? Mine is moving.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, mine's going insane right
Mine is
Oh.
too. It's quite stupid.
Yeah, okay, so let's cancel that. And then I want to bring out the points a little further outwards here. So come back to frame 1.
There's no way you can like lock it into place.
Well, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to track those corners to get it to follow the corners there. So use my zoom, come in, turn off the S. All right, I'm going to place them a little bit outwards, so we don't have boundary boxes to work with. It's supposed to be more automated. And bring it right outside of those corners. Still trying to get the match up with the canvas. Sort of like a slightly larger boundary box for the canvas. So you want them like equidistant from each corresponding corner here. All right. Turn the S back on. Line it back up. Let's give it another try. Make sure we're at frame 1 here. No, well, there might not be enough information in here. Let's see. Turn it off. Does that help out any? So I'm just going to troubleshoot this a little bit. This kind of snaps there. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So I'm just going to start over here real quick. So what I'm guessing the problem is that since it's just a solid white area here, it kind of gets too close and then just gets caught up in like this void area. It doesn't have any landmarks to track any further, so it just goes everywhere. So what I'm going to attempt to do here is just get the information in the couch around the canvas and see if we can get the tracking information from there. So, control. Alright, just trying to hold on. Losing this one up top here. Looks like the other ones are pretty solid though.
So now it's working because you just didn't stay on the white, you kind of move up towards the couch a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one up here needs a little more adjusting.
So I need to just expand the red lines up more, it seems like.
Yeah, a little more outwards of the canvas here. So let's see. Alright, almost there.
Something else, I think it was on mine too. I don't know.
It's getting there.
I think so.
Now, another thing that we're going to be doing once we get a sort of okay look is adjustments here. So what I keep doing is I'm trashing the whole thing because every time we make an adjustment, it comes up as a keyframe down here, which is good if you already have the general motion you want. And then the keyframes just sort of correct what you don't want. Here, though, it's just gonna just make a mess since it's so far off. I'll give this another try here. Make it just a little bit wider. Alright, then add perspective, see if that does anything for me. Okay, so this works. Looks like we can work with this. Okay, so let's try to get to this point, and then we'll work on keyframes so we can get the look right. And then next class, we'll go ahead and try to import it back into After Effects. RAM issue. Space.
In here,
Yeah.
in this format,
Well, on the computer. It doesn't have enough
Okay,
VR
so
or VRAM.
maybe, okay, hold on. If I'm not sure. Hopefully you can probably help me. It's saying something, what is it called? Just like on Adobe and stuff, it says load this.
Yeah, this sketch.
But I've tried, I've literally deleted everything, and now I just don't know what to delete.
Well, VRAM. So, that's technical. Yeah. I don't want to mess up your computer.
Right. I think that's so. I'm gonna have to stop, and then I'm gonna let my mom check it out for my dad, because they're TI. My dad is.
Excellent. Yes. All right. So we'll just mess with what you got there.
Okay. I just at least want. Okay, now it's going again.
Is that,
Hmm?
is it tracking well?
I don't know. How can I start it over? Okay, let's see this stuff.
Yeah, you just mess with that blue bar. So blue bar is all the frames from the
It's
track.
track,
Yeah.
right. No, I just want to see. Let's just see. What is it doing what it's supposed to do so far?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please don't see it.
Now, I'll just mess with that for right now. So what we want to do now is take a look at those points, make sure they're sitting where we want them. We're going to slide them around, and now we'll make keyframes.
Yeah, I'm still going. Do I put this blue box around the white?
Is that working?
It worked a little better, except the top would feel like a little bit off. But I'm just trying stuff out.
Okay. It seems like it might work at trying to retain the shape if you get perspective before tracking.
Oh. That?
Oh, yeah.
And that was, way better than it has been.
Yeah, that's useful. It's useful. It looks like it's going to hang in there. So the next part will be keyframes. I'll bring that up in just a second. Let's try without the blue. We do have tracking information already. We can see the scrub down below the timeline. Alright, so let's do what we did here. Let's try to look at the perspective on it. I think it tries to retain the shape and the perspective as well. So let's go ahead and see the erase icon. See the essentials tab. Up to other sensitivity. Other sensitivity. Above that, this is the trash can. And it's got a new box in there. There's the pencil. Step on perspective. Slide right over that. And you see that green arrow? It's the key. In the bottom right, you see X is all. That's the key. All right. So keyframes, real quick. All right. So keyframes are really simple. We're just going to start adjusting points, random points in the timeline as needed. So keyframes are going to pop up at the bottom as these green arrows here. Pull back here. All right, so it's a little more subtle on this one. But right here, we got a little bit of motion on that top one. So what I'm going to do is go right here. Let's see. I'm just gonna go for it. All right, right here where it does a little bit of motion, move this back up just a bit. I got a new keyframe here. So what it's going to do is going to add in-betweens with all the tracking information and do the best it can to keep it from going, keep this point from straying in between these frames right here. So I'm going to hit here. That's where the keyframe is going to be at. And just keep looking at that point, make sure it's on point. Okay, right about here. Get back into place. So I got another keyframe. That should be pretty good. Right here, strays a little bit. Move it back into place. All right, and it looks a little bit better. And that's what I'm going to do to all 4 points here. So let's take a little bit of time. Let's make sure these points are still on track for the, I think it's 10 seconds here. The entirety of the 10 seconds. Not too bad. And of course, fewer key points are better.
I don't know how mine is gonna work right now. So like, you think I can still make them?
Yeah, and just the blue part, the first part there. It seems to me that the key points stay in place for that section.
Oh, every time we move it, it automatically gets.
Well, why is mine not doing it, Mr. Mo?
Do you see the green arrows popping up?
See, it won't even let me, I'm like,
Very deep.
Yeah, so since you got it following the canvas, every time it deviates on the white edge, notice, yeah, it's in your track. where it, diverges the furthest. Did you move it earlier?
Yeah,
Afterwards, because if you got keep frames on that point afterwards, then it's just going to transit it back to
I didn't do that.
It's still jerks before that. Not that far, you want to keep it in there.
Mine won't let it keep running. Mine won't let it keep running. Whenever you get done. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
When y'all are done.
That'll work. Okay, so let's save it and then we'll hop on this next time.
I think my best bet right now is to like kind of just and let my dad like, just do what he has to do because he hasn't cleaned out my computer in a while. And I don't want to make anything worse. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Okay. Well, let's try it. Let's try to keep it real quick. So,
okay. I thought you said when you move it, it should automatically come up, right?
yeah.
Right, so that's this. Yeah, see it, right?
Well, yeah.
And
No, the point yet.
this one?
No, the point in the canvas part.
Okay, so like this, and then right here, right?
Well, whichever point is just sort of
Messed
going
up.
astray. Yeah.
Okay, let me see. It started from the end.
I don't know.
See, it gets fine until it's right here.
Yeah, let me just track it.
So, right. So can I, is it a way I can finesse it, you think, and try to put one there or not? Because it won't track it, right?
It looks like it's about to mess up. Yeah, so like it's
Okay, there, you see it? You don't see it right there?
yeah, we have to put a keyframe on the tracking information. So like the red bar is untracked.
Right. I was just trying because in the blue, there's nothing to track. I mean, nothing to have a key on. It is kind of steady, right?
Yeah.
Yes. You want it to, but-
No, it works. So yeah, let's see what your dad says about getting more VRAM there. But do you remember how to get back to this? How to put the video in boys? Awesome. All right.
Because you record it too, right?
Right. It's going to be on YouTube. So give it another try. If you take a look at it, see if you can get a full blue bar.
Right.
And then we'll take a look at the keyframes next class.
Okay, so we have to look at the hammer?
No, just make sure
So I'll
bring this
just plug
back
that in
in.
and should be clean. I hope we can have you on that one.
Yeah, it's enough space.
That's it.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and save this out unless you want to redo it again at some point. So save project.
Because if I save it like this, Mr. Knox, after it's cleaned off, it should just be able to go through all the way.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Ugh.
Or better yet, let's export it.
So we're doing export instead of save?
Yeah, save, it looks like it's just gonna place it in the AEP file. So if we export it, we'll know what we're getting. So place it right next to your AEP files. I'll name it version 2 so you know it goes with the second file. You can exit out of that, save this, and exit out of that. We'll be ready for next week.
How you doing?
All right. Any questions?